So I've got all these different articles out here. I want to talk about guns, social media, abortions, Syria, all sorts of stuff. And once again, I got all these articles in front of me. I don't know where to start. So let me start with this one. This is the one that started the ball rolling for me this week. I read an article about how Britain is having a knife attack epidemic, and they want to hire more police to fix the problem. Ladies and gentlemen, they took all the guns away from everybody. And this is a perfect illustration as to how taking guns away is not going to solve the problem. They're going to use knives. Go ahead. Take the knives away, they're going to start using baseball bats. If you take the baseball bats away, then the cars, screwdrivers, hammers, whatever it takes, okay? So getting more police on the street costs you money. Getting more police on the street doesn't address the issue of the law-abiding citizen. Why can't they just have the ability to protect themselves? Because if you confront a bad guy with a knife and you've got a gun, guess who's going to usually win? Unless the guy's caught you off guard, okay? You don't bring a knife to a gunfight for a reason. So, Bill, I wanted to start on that. What are your thoughts about that topic?
Well, when they come up with laws like this, and you see it a lot of times, it's like putting a lock on a gate. You're going to keep honest people honest, and the bad people are still going to find a way to get through your lock and get to what they want to get through your gate. So,
perfect illustration.
In this case, you pass a law where you take away a lot of guns, and a lot of people make a big deal. When you talk about taking guns, a lot of people make a big deal about Australian gun laws. But in actuality, a lot of the Australian gun laws are not too dissimilar from our own gun laws. However, the main difference is they're enforced in Australia, whereas here we don't enforce them the way they were intended to be enforced, the good gun laws. And you've got gun laws where people are trying to do things like you have in England now, where you've taken away guns from most people. You have to go through a lot of coursework and really be able to afford the coursework to get certified to have hunting guns in England. Not everybody can have a hunting gun like you essentially can here. So even just to hunt with a rifle or a gun, you have to own the gun to be able to do that. You either have to be certified and licensed to do it, which costs a great deal of money, or you have to hire somebody to use their gun supervised to be able to hunt. And otherwise, owning a gun in England is almost impossible. And so as a result, the only ones that have guns typically are the bad guys.
That's right.
And then there is a rash of and people laugh about it, but it is becoming more prevalent over there, assaults by knife. And you're right. What do? You limit the size of the knife? Okay, great. You can only have up to a 3-inch blade. Well, they'll figure out a way you can kill somebody with a 2-inch blade.
Yeah, that's right. Razor blade.
What's the most deadly? They say, well, let's get rid of high velocity, caliber bullets and such. But what bullet kills more people every year?
Probably 22.
Yeah, a 22. And so, okay, get rid of the
That's
one.
a high velocity round, but it's a small projectile.
But it's a small, but I mean, they're looking at bigger calibers.
To make your analogy right, a 25 auto has killed many people, and that's a slow-moving, large bullet, so it can still kill.
Yeah, I mean a bigger caliber. I said.
I want to make a comment to all you anti-gunners out there, okay? Listen to me closely. There's 3 different types of you. There's the one who does it for political gain, and they put fear in the hearts of people. You people I don't want to talk to, okay? You disgust me. Then there's the people who are truly just afraid of guns. And then there are those who are ignorant about the whole concept. You 2 groups are the ones I want to talk to. Listen to me closely. I hear you. The whole goal for both of us is safety. We want to be safe, right? However, I'm not going to give up my right to have the gun. Never. But I do concede to you that there needs to be people to be more conscientious about how they handle their weapons, like the story I read earlier about letting the child get access to the firearm. You need to secure your firearms. That's common sense. I'm a gun advocate, and I will promote big time, you idiot. You need to secure your firearm, okay? But I'm not going to give it up. So I'm giving into, and the mental issue, there's a big mental issue out there, drugs or whatever it is, people are unstable. We need to worry about those challenges. But if I concede to you that I agree with you to a certain extent, and we both agree on the same bottom line, and that is safety for one another, you got to work with me, and I got to work with you. I will work with you every way I can without restricting my firearms to the law-abiding citizen. jacking with the Second Amendment in any way, shape, or form. But let's go on the outskirts of it. Don't deny me my rights. Don't restrict my rights, but enforce or maximize what it takes to get those other people corrected. I hope I was clear on that.
Yeah. Yeah, you hit it pretty much on the nail head. You know, we create laws in this country, not just for guns, but for lots of things that shouldn't even be an issue, because it should be addressed when you're growing up as a child, when you get older. You know, as far as firearms go, we were shooting them when I was a little bitty kid, but we were learning how to shoot them correctly, learning how to take care of the weapons correctly, learning where to aim, where not to aim, how to hold it, how to load it, when not to load it, what do you do if you have a misfire, all that kind of stuff. And I can't imagine, you know, when my kids were younger, my older kids were younger, we used to shoot skeet out at my dad's house just north of town here all the time. And then we had a firing range out back, and we would take the kids out there from a young age and sit there with them and show them how to use the guns, how the proper way to use the guns. And the problem is not, and you can't solve that problem with laws. There's so many problems in this country that we try to solve with laws. Legislating morality, you can't do it. Mm-mm. That's got to be learned in the home.
Let me add
primarily.
To that, the dad primarily, unless you're a single parent home and mom's here with the kids. Here's the deal: they must fear you. My children feared me in the sense of they knew if they touched what they weren't supposed to touch, all hell's going to break loose from dad. It was a respected fear. It wasn't a fear, oh my gosh, should I hurt
It was
you?
a healthy fear.
It was a healthy fear. And you need to put that into them, the fear of you, okay? In the sense of you respect me, who I am, you respect the stuff that I have, guns, and you respect what those guns can do, and you teach them, ingrain it into it, and you're going to eliminate that problem. In the last 20 years, we've had this problem. Because when I first came to Texas 25 years ago, shotguns in the back of truck windows, no big deal.
On campus.
Yeah. And now people are freaking out. They're being wussified.
Yeah, and you know, you talk about that good, healthy fear. I know when I was in school, the thought of getting in trouble in school was never even a thought in my mind, because I knew when I got home, whatever that principal did, and the principal knew my dad, so no matter what the principal did, it was going to be 10 times worse when I got home, and I probably was going to be grounded for a long time, and you just, you know, those kind of thoughts. Nowadays, we've gotten to a point now where, you know, when my son was younger, and the girls for that matter, my two older girls, we changed tires. We learned to change tires. We learned to check oil. We learned how to use guns. We learned how to mow lawns, how to do everything. And I see so many teenagers now that their first act when they have a flat tire is pick up the phone and call somebody.
Yeah, that's right.
Because they can't, they have no idea where the spare is, much less how to change
Bill,
the
we
spare.
got a call. Let's see what we got going on here. Hopefully it's pertaining to the topic. Welcome to the Aaron's High Cap Adventure Radio program. You're on the air. Who do we have? Do we got him? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? All right, Bill, until we squared away. Keep going.
Okay, so and that goes back to you know, legislating morality goes back to what you do in the home, what you learn. You know, we used to learn that at home. We used to learn that at church, and we used to learn that to a certain extent at school. I know when I had a bad grade or something, my parent was going to talk to the teacher to figure out where I screwed up. Mm-hmm. And so many times today now in our society, the parents go to the school to find out where the teacher screwed up, because it can't be little Johnny. And that attitude permeates society to the point where we make laws to protect people from things that they shouldn't even have to have protection from. It should just be a common sense deal. You know, somebody made the joke, take all the warning labels off of all of everything, and let's just let, you know, Darwin solve all the problems. There's some truth to that.
What do you think started this? All right, go ahead. Pick up the phone and see what we got. All right. Welcome to the Aaron's High Cap Adventure Radio program. You're on the air. Who we got?
Okay. Cal Riley from Milano.
How you doing, buddy?
A question on opinion.
Yes, sir.
Okay. To actually carry the firearm legal in Texas, you got to have a concealed weapon license. I believe there has been debate in the last couple legislative sessions about having it where you can carry without this license.
Well, that would be constitutional law, yeah.
That's right. That's the constitutional law. We're allowed that right. Okay. So let's say I have locked, okay, and I'm caught and I'm busted. Now I haven't got a I haven't got no criminal record at all. Can they actually hang me, or can I get an attorney on the constitutional right and beat that?
No, because all right, you're getting into legal stuff here. Let me see if I can do it without killing it too bad. You have the right to bear arms, but the state has the right to tell you how to carry that. And at this point, it must be with a license to carry. And in the state of Texas, it's open carry or conceal with that license that you've gone to get qualified for and certified that you can do it. And you pay the fees, so on and so forth. So until that time happens, if you're carrying improperly, then you can get busted, yeah.
Okay, here's
Hey,
why that's not fair.
real quick, caller, could you turn down your radio in the background? It's causing a little feedback.
Here's why that's not fair, okay? Let me say one more thing, and I'll hang up. Y'all can discuss it. Okay, or here's what I don't like about it. Now, again, I have no criminal record. You haven't been denied a constitutional right. So the people who you get qualified with, or you go to, okay, I got to pay them to go through this training. I got to give the state their cut, okay? And basically, that's a tax. That's basically what it is, okay? So again, I have no criminal record. Why am I denied to carry the firearm? That's the question. I'll go ahead and hang up, and y'all can debate that or whatever, okay?
Well, yeah, thank you very much for the call. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Here's a quick answer in a nutshell. Because I'm not a legal scholar and I can't fight it, and I'm not going to fight the cop on the beat, and because the majority rules on this one when it comes to doing it the way Texas says to do it, I'm going to lose at a traffic stop. So because everything's set up the way it is, the only way you're really going to win is if you get it in a legislative manner confirmed and put into the laws that, yes, we've got constitutional carry. Until that happens, you're going to lose, and you better follow the ways of the state. Because the Constitution, the Bill of Rights says this, but it also says whatever's not covered in that, it's up to the states to fill in the gaps. Well, the state of Texas filled in the gap a certain way, and that's why we have the laws that we have. So to prevent yourself from getting into a legal fight and losing, okay, that's just the way it's going to happen, stick with the rules of the state at this time, and then not only call shows like this, but talk to people who can help to make those laws change and get an upswing of movement and have that law passed. And so this way you can carry constitutionally. That's a very short, quick, abbreviated, slaughtered way of saying it, but that's how it works. Bill, you got a comment on it?
Hey, just it's just what Matt said. You want to follow the law. You may not agree with it, but you want to follow it. But the way to change laws or the way to affect laws is, number one, vote. But number two is to get in touch with your legislators. Here in this part of Texas and Milano and all of Milam County, your representative is Terry Wilson, and he's super good about, if you call him, he'll call you back. And then our state senator is Charles Furtner, and you can call his office and talk to him also. I don't have those numbers off the top of my head, but if you look at the county website, you can find them fairly easily.
I think part of it too, Bill, he was saying he didn't feel that it was a rightful law, and I see where he's coming from, but because majority rules here and you're going to lose the battle, you just got to play the game.
It doesn't feel right. It's legal. There's no doubt about that. That's been tossed and debated in the court system, so there is legality to it, but it doesn't always feel right. A lot of people are agree with you too. A lot of people would just like to be able, if you haven't done anything wrong, you don't have any criminal record, just to be able to carry.
I will make this comment though, although I agree with what you just said, because of 25 years ago and how it's dropped, I have to say I'm going to use my First Amendment right to embarrass you, to shame you into training. People just want to get that gun and feel like they know what they're doing, and they don't. Ladies and gentlemen, I've seen thousands of people come through my courses, and the majority of them don't know what they're doing, okay? They do just enough to pass, and I would say a quarter of them come back for extra training, but there's a lot of people out there who need training. And so, although you have this right, you better practice that right. Back in the day, that was part of life. You would just be proficient with it in general, like you were saying earlier.
Well, you remember, what was it, about 16 or 17 years ago, they went back and they said anybody born after 1970 had to take hunter safety. Even if you'd been hunting your whole life, you still had to go and take a hunter safety course. And the reason is because there was a time in Texas where people learned how to use guns, learned how to hunt as a form of life. And then that quit, and you had guys that were my age, a little younger than me, because I was born in '69. But they, like I was born in '69. Tommy Harris is 2 years younger than me, but Tommy had to take the course, I didn't, and both of us had been hunting our whole lives. But because so many people wanted to take up hunting, went and bought a gun, and then just went out to go hunt, and had no idea what was involved with hunting, and were shooting into other people. The problem was that was a law that was written in blood, because people were killed by hunting rifles, because people that didn't know how to hunt were out there trying to hunt in deer blinds and stuff, and were killing other people.
They're not watching their backstop and all that.
Yeah, and that's where that came from.
Luke, we got another call?
He lost connection.
All right,
So
I'll call back.
So that's why, you have some of those laws. That hunter safety law, I think, was it was a law that was made for a good reason. Now, of course, hopefully everybody gets good hunter safety training if they've never been hunting before, because it's just like you said, that training is invaluable. And so you need it. But that's where laws like that came from. And so there you go.
There comes a time, and that time is now, to act like adults. If you're going to get a firearm, you need to act like an adult and be responsible with it. Otherwise, we're going to lose lots of our ability to have weapons because of the foolish who are not doing it. So, look, I want to put pressure on all you people who do have common sense. The people who have common sense and go to get their training, are proficient with their firearms, and understand how important it is. You better be shaming your neighbor. Shame them. Use your First Amendment right to shame them. You may not be able to legally tell them to do it, but you sure as heck can shame them into getting trained and make sure they know what they're doing. Who wants to change a tire and not know what to do? If you change a tire and don't tighten the lug nuts, you're gonna have a wobbly tire, and it's gonna cut off all your lug bolts, and you're gonna have a problem. Okay, so learn how to do it. You might not like to do it, but it's necessary to do it.
Well, there's two things that goes along with that. People won't go get training because in today's world, a lot of people don't. They feel socially awkward going to ask, especially a guy, if he's never really used a gun and he buys this really nice handgun and it's really cool, but he's got to go ask somebody else how to use it. And so if you've got friends that need that training, say, hey man, why don't you come with me? And we'll go and we'll take a class together, or I can take you and introduce you to somebody where you can get the training, and it's hard for people to ask, to be the one to say, hey man, I want a gun, but where do I go to get it? And who do I go to, because you don't want to be, as a guy, that macho-ness comes out, and you don't want to be the guy that has to go ask another guy, hey Matt, can you show me how to load my gun?
Here's a surefire way to get over that challenge. This is what I do. I do it to this day. I go, Bill, you're awesome. You're great at what you do. I want to learn what you do. Can you teach me? First of all, that shows and honors you. Secondly, you go, that's pretty cool. And people around you who hear that go, hey, that guy's a bold guy. He knows he has a limitation, and he goes to the person who knows what he's doing. How can you knock somebody for doing that? You can't. Because the person who does knock somebody for doing that is the fool himself.
There's that old saying, the only stupid question is the one that isn't asked.
That's right.
And we've created a society now that, they think they know how to use a gun, in their 20s and early 30s. They think they know how to use a gun because they've played hours and hours of first-person shooters. And, that's such an overrun argument, but it's the truth. It's out there. And you have guys and gals that never had that parental or mentoring figure in their life, and they go into it and they buy guns and they buy things that they want and have no idea how to use it. Mm-hmm. Get the help. I want to know. When I bought a new gun recently, I didn't know how to use it, but my brother has one, and so I sat down and said, "Hey, show me how to do this with this." Sure. And he sat down, and he used to be in the Marine Corps, and he said, "Oh, this is what you do with it." And then we went through it step by step about 5 times until I was like, "Oh, okay, now I've got it." So
I know you know a lot of people, and you're blessed to be around a lot of people who know what they're doing, and so am I. Down the gun shop is incredible. I've got people who come to the shop who are just so phenomenally well-rounded in how to do things. I'm in awe. I could name names, but I won't, because I don't want to embarrass them. But I look at them and I go, it's incredible. Teach me. I'm such an idiot when it comes to this stuff, but I want to learn because I know you guys know. It's like my opinion piece today. I'm a slab kind of guy outside of the gun realm. Okay, I get it done. I know what to do. but I'm smart enough to know. I know somebody who knows what's in the cracks. They got all that information in the cracks. So that's who I go to.
And normally those guys, they'll help.
Yeah.
There aren't very many people that, and especially in the gun world, there are a lot of guys. Most guys that I know that know a lot about guns, and they want to involve you because that's just another person that they can talk to guns about, and they love to talk about them, and they want to work with them, and there's no reason to be embarrassed to ask them other than just your own social anxiety. Mm-hmm. So, but if you know somebody that has that anxiety and they don't want to do that, man, be that lead for them. Say, hey, come on, let me work with you on this, and I know a friend of mine who's an expert at it. Let's go up to Aaron's and Matt will show you how to do this. Be that guy that does that for them because they may not want to do it on their own.
Right. All right, Bill, I think we emptied the mag on that topic. We got a bunch of different topics here, plus some that you got. What do you want to hit? We got about 4 minutes left.
You brought up the deal in New York about the background checks on guns, and that's also, there's a history with that. New York got it from California, where in order to buy a gun, you've got to give up all your passwords to like Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff, so they can do a 3-year search back, and then they want to do a 1-year search on your computer search history. Mm-hmm. I get the search history deal, but then now you're breaking into privacy rights.
You get it, but you don't agree with it.
I get it. I get why you would want to, but from a Bill of Rights standpoint, from a constitutional standpoint,
to me, that's an illegal search and seizure.
Yeah, it is.
It's like it's none of your business.
And it's a way to keep people from buying guns. But here's the trick: is they'll go somewhere else. They'll buy them. Those laws, while they look good and they sound good to the liberal side of the aisle, it's going to do is keep honest people honest, because the people that want the gun, they're going to go get the gun.
They'll get something, whatever it takes.
They'll get whatever they can get, but they'll get something. Exactly right. And so, and that law comes from a California law. I hope we never have to deal with any of that here.
I read an article about what we're talking about, and one of the comments in the article was, when it happens there, you may think, it's just a bunch of crazy people up in New York, but it's going to spread. Once they lock it into place, it spreads to other communist states, okay? And then sooner or later, it becomes the common law of the land, and I don't want that to happen.
Yep, and you're exactly right. We have things now that 10 years ago, I don't think anybody would have seen. Everything from various different gun laws to new abortion laws, the new one in New York that basically allows right up to the point of birth.
What about Virginia after birth?
In Virginia, which luckily the legislature there proved smarter than the leadership there, as we've seen in the last week between the three leaders. All three Democrat leaders look like they're going to be kicked out of office, and then you'll have a Republican Speaker of the House take over the state. They get it. But you had whatever you want to call it, civil unions, gay marriage in a few states, and that leaked out. Now it's the law of the land. And you think, that'll never happen here. Well, if you're on the conservative side of the aisle, which obviously both of us are, you think, well, there's no way that Texas will ever go back to blue. Well, Williamson County went hardcore blue in the last congressional election. John Carter, for the first time in his history, lost to Williamson County, and he held on to Bell County, and that's how he won the election with 50.4% of the vote.
It's not good.
And they lost 2 of their state house seats in Williamson County because you're getting that slow leak. So, the Texas Miracle has been great for our economy, but it has brought in a lot of liberals. And if you don't think those things can happen here, well, guess what? Don't vote next time. We only had about 50% of the people in the state of Texas vote. 50% stayed home. Get out and vote, because every vote counts. And if you don't want that to leak into here, that's how you do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a beautiful country. It enables us to have beautiful freedoms to do some of the crazy, stupid stuff we do. But I'm telling you, we're strangling the goose that lays the golden egg. Okay? The goose is the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the eggs are those freedoms and liberties and rights that we have. We cannot strangle the goose. We have to protect the goose. The goose, make the goose strong, polish up the eggs, and all in between that, you can do all your liberal stuff. Okay? We can play around. If it works, great. I'm not opposed to any idea that makes somewhat common sense. Okay? So if you've got some type of idea and you want to do something on a Social Security level, or you want to do something, whatever the topic is, okay? Well, if it works, we'll do it. If it doesn't work, we're not going to do it. But don't jack with the pillars of this country, the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. We're out of time, Luke, aren't we? All right, ladies and gentlemen, until next week. It was great talk. Thanks, Bill, for coming on.
Hey, thank you for
Until
having
next
me.
week, God bless. Keep your powder dry.